These NFL teams have the brightest futures, and I mean so bright to the point where they can easily develop into Super Bowl contenders in the next couple of years. So to start, there's no hiding this one, and their name is obviously the Seattle Seahawks. And yes, I know I've talked about the Seahawks a lot as my past 2 videos have been about them, but it is for very good reason. The Seahawks are already coming off a 9-8 season where they made the playoffs, and are also coming off a draft class where they had arguably the offensive rookie of the year and the defensive rookie of the year. But besides that, they've also already had a very good free agency so far that's not even over and could be even potentially better than it already had. Bobby Wagner. But no, when it comes to free agency, they have already signed the beast Draymond Jones in a 3-year $51 million contract, which I'm sure we all know just how good and how much potential he already has, as he's only 26 and posted 6.5 sacks in only 13 games, all while being more of an interior defensive lineman, which makes it just that much more impressive. And not even just Draymond Jones was a good signing. Of course, the Seahawks signed Julian Love and Devin Bush. Julian Love signed a 2-year $12 million contract and really needs no explanation. He was such an underrated signing this season for the Seahawks, and I'm so surprised the Seahawks were able to pick him up, knowing the Seahawks for some reason hate signing players during free agency. But that aside, Julian Love posted a solid 70 PFF grade and also recorded 124 total tackles as a safety and had 2 interceptions to go along with it. So a very solid player indeed, but that takes me to the next player in Devin Bush, who was signed to a prove-it deal, and I have to say I don't hate this signing at all. If Devin Bush goes back to himself pre-ACL tear, this signing is only 10 times better, but I know that's a big if. But he is having a changed environment, so you really never know. But overall, this deal has such a low risk and such a high reward, and again, I can't say I'm complaining whatsoever. Now, with free agency signings aside, the Seahawks have a total of 10 picks for this upcoming draft, including 2 first-rounders, one of those 2 first-rounders also being a top 5 picks, and also having 2 second-rounders. So the potential is limitless for the Seahawks here, and it's going to be very hard to go wrong here. But now, as long as Geno Smith adds off to his Pro Bowl season, I could easily see the Seahawks going 11-6 this upcoming season. The next team I believe to have the second best future in the NFL is the Detroit Lions. The Lions are already a fan favorite for most NFL fans, and they could easily gain more, as they could definitely be Super Bowl contenders in the next couple of years. The Lions are also coming off a 9-8 season along with the Seahawks, which, funny enough, they were the reason the Seahawks made the playoffs in the first place, as I'm sure we all know how that happened. But besides that, the future already is unbelievable for the Lions. Just in the last 2 draft classes they've had, they have already included the likes of Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Kirby Joseph, Jamison Williams, and of course Aiden Hutchinson. And still, not just that, they can easily add to that in the upcoming draft, as they have 8 total picks. And again, along with the Seahawks, they have 2 first-round picks, one of those being the 6th overall pick, and they also have 2 second-round picks. So the potential is out of this world, and again, they really can't go wrong here. But draft aside, this free agency period for them has been amazing, and I personally think has been better than the Seahawks, even as a Seahawks fan myself. They've signed the likes of CJ Gardner-Johnson, David Montgomery, Cameron Sutton, and Emmanuel Mosley. To start, don't even get me started on the CJ Gardner-Johnson signing. This signing for them was so good, and I can't believe they only got him for $6.5 million, and although it was only a 1-year contract, it is still so worth it. I'm sure we all know CJ Gardner-Johnson tied the league in interceptions and most likely would have led the league if he didn't miss multiple games. But besides CJ Gardner-Johnson, the Lions got themselves a very nice running back in David Montgomery, who is still averaging around 4 yards to carry behind a very bad offensive line. And not only that, he has yet to record under 5 rushing touchdowns in a season, so a very nice signing for the Lions there. And going along with that, the Lions signed 2 solid corners, and of course Cameron Sutton and Emmanuel Mosley. And now, with kind of a similar spot to Seattle with the quarterback situation, the Lions need Jared Goff to continue his last season heroics if they want to get anywhere near the playoffs. And for that, I believe I have the Lions going 10-7 this upcoming season. And now the team I believe to have the brightest future in the whole NFL is of course the Chicago Bears. Most of the reason the future for the Bears got that much better was, as we all know, due to them trading up with Carolina, where they got the young stud in DJ Moore, and along with that, 1 future first-round pick and 2 second-round picks, all while only having to move down 8 spots where they can still draft a phenomenal player. Now with the Bears' current roster before the offseason, it definitely has so much potential, but honestly I don't think as much as the Lions or Seahawks. Justin Fields could definitely make a big leap up, but besides that, I can't see too many other players making that big of a leap except Jaquan Brisker and maybe Braxton Jones and Tevin Jenkins on the O-line. But besides the current players on the roster, this free agency period for the Bears has been a lot, which makes sense as they had a lot of money, but they definitely put that money to good use as they signed the likes of Tremaine Edmonds, Nate Davis, Robert Tonyan, TJ Edwards, and my favorite signing in Dante Foreman. Of course, the Bears had many other players they signed, but I was mainly just going over the notable ones. The biggest signing they made was Tremaine Edmonds, which I really wish the Seahawks would have got. But that was all for good reason. Tremaine Edmonds has already made 2 Pro Bowls tackles, and that is only the beginning as he's about to turn 25 this upcoming season. But not just that, he recorded a very nice 79 PFF grade, so he definitely remains a top 10 linebacker, and the Bears got themselves a nice Roquan Smith replacement. Now, to pair along with Tremaine Edmunds, the Bears also signed TJ Edwards, who recorded 159 total tackles and had 2 sacks to go along with that. TJ Edwards posted an 84.8 PFF grade, which was obviously higher than Tremaine Edmunds, but also higher than superstar Fred Warner's. Of course, these are PFF grades, so take it with a grain of salt, but it's just one thing to keep in mind. Now, with the linebacker signings out the way, the Bears also signed the very solid guard in Nate Davis and the very solid tight end in Robert Tonyan. But besides that, they also signed Dante Foreman, which I think was an amazing signing. They signed him to a 1-year, $2 million contract, which is obviously barely anything, but this man Dante Foreman got that contract while posting 915 yards last season on 4.5 yards a carry behind the Panthers O-line. So the potential in this signing is limitless. But now with all the free agency signings and this upcoming draft obviously having so much potential in itself, the Bears future is set up very nice and is what I believe to be the best future in the whole NFL. For the next season record prediction, I honestly think Justin Fields takes a big step up and probably makes the Pro Bowl, and for that I have the Bears going 8-9 next season. But obviously it is only up from there. So yeah, that's going to conclude this video. If you had a different opinion of mine, make sure to drop it in the comments. And also, I mean, if you made it this far, you might as well consider liking or subbing. But nah, I hope you guys enjoyed and have a good rest of your week.